If you own an M car that came with a carbon fiber roof but no sunroof, and you want to install a roof rack, then you're left with very few options. One option you do have is to drill into that carbon fiber roof to reveal the factory screws underneath. And that's what I opted to do on my friend's car to help him install a roof rack. At this point in the video, I would like to mention a quick little disclaimer and just say that be aware of what you're doing when you attempt this. You are drilling into your carbon fiber roof if you go this route, and there's really no going back. So you kind of have one shot to get this right. And if you're not comfortable doing this job, I would recommend not doing it or going to a professional like a body shop or some other qualified professional to handle this project. That being said, it's definitely not the hardest job that I've done, and we didn't run into any major issues. So proceed at your own risk. If you decide you want to proceed, I would recommend getting all the PPE and tools that you need to complete this job ahead of time. And this is what I would recommend if you're going to attempt this job: a sanding mask, eye protection, ear protection, gloves, good lighting, tubbo towels to help wipe off some sealant if you get any on your tools, and just some shop towels for general cleanup as you go. To get this job done as painlessly as possible, I'd recommend having a nice quality drill, a small bit for the pilot hole, a 5/8 drill bit, a Dremel with a sanding bit, an E14 external Torx bit, as well as the new screws that you'll be installing, a T30 Torx bit, and a ratchet for that T30 Torx bit and the E14 Torx bit as well, and a pick tool. And on a separate note, this particular carbon fiber roof on my buddy's car has seen better days, so we weren't always as careful as we should have been while working around this roof, just because it's already pretty much a total loss. So once you have all your tools and your PPE, you can start actually getting this job done. And the first step is going to be to slide this trim piece back and then gently work along all of the clips and just pry upwards to get it to come off. It's not that hard, but just go slowly and take your time with it. So now that that trim piece has been removed, you'll want to see exactly where you want to drill. And on our car, all of the screw holes were located in the dead center of where the carbon fiber roof extends out. So you'll see this little piece on the carbon fiber roof where it extends out, and right in the middle of that is where we drilled, and we hit the screw every single time. So you'll just want to be careful and drill slowly with your pilot hole bit, and just kind of take your time and make sure you're being accurate and precise, because you want to drill as closely to the screw as possible, just so you don't remove any extra material that you didn't have to. So once we finished with the pilot hole bit, we switched out to the 5/8 bit, and that's roughly the size of the screw. So we just use that and enlarge the hole that we made with our pilot hole bit. Again, you want to work slow and kind of check your progress every so often, because you don't want to over drill and end up stripping the Torx head screw underneath. So just take your time, go really slow. And also I would recommend masking this area off before you begin any drilling. Once you've made the hole big enough so that you can see the majority of the screw head, you'll want to take a Dremel with a sanding hole bit and just kind of work the resin that's still present and just kind of get rid of it with the Dremel, because it'll prevent the screw from actually being able to come out. So using the Dremel here, we just gently sanded the resin away so that we could make space for that screw to come out. One important thing is you actually want to make sure you remove all of the carbon fiber in that little screw area, so that when you install the new screw, it's not actually resting on the carbon fiber. Even after using the Dremel, there was still a significant amount of resin inside the actual Torx head. So using a pick, we just removed the remainder of that resin so that our Torx head bit would actually fit onto the screw so that we could remove it. Then we just used our T30 bit on a ratchet to take the bit out, and we repeated this process 3 more times on the remaining screws around the rest of the roof. Once all the factory screws have been removed, you can now gather your kit that you bought and get it ready for installation. And we just went around to each of the screw locations, applied a little bit of sealant to the screw, put it in, tightened it, and then applied sealant around it and kind of on top of it, just to try to minimize the chance of any water ingress. That being said, this isn't a factory install, so there is definitely a higher likelihood of water ingressing where it's not supposed to. And that's why I caution you against doing this job. And if you're not comfortable with it, I would definitely recommend taking it to a professional. According to whatever sealant you bought, you may want to wait for it to cure properly. And that's what we did. We didn't actually install the roof rack yet. So I will update you in a future video if I end up finding out that there are problems with this installation method or the roof rack itself. So stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe for future updates. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found this video helpful or at least entertaining, and I'll see you in the next one.